last 2 or 3 weeks that we've had, robbery after robbery in the Central West End. But hey, we knew from early on that it was one subject because he always had his surgical mask on, used the same car, and there was no end in sight to his antics. So we knew the time, in time we would eventually get him. Thanks to one of my sergeants who dared to think outside the box, we knew that this guy had to be hanging his hat somewhere in this neighborhood, just by the way things had gone down, the circumstances of each case. And the guys were looking, our guys were up and down the alleys, streets, all 3 watches every day. But they were pretty much focused on the 9th District. Sergeant Mark Gurman, one of my more street-savvy sergeants, decided he'd go a little bit further north. So he goes into the 8th District, north of Delmar. And about 5 or 6 blocks north of Delmar, boom, he finds the car. So he alerts the detectives, and we've got quite a few of our undercover guys out there with these spike strips, if you know what they are. They're devices now that we use to stop fleeing cars, since we're really not supposed to chase anybody anymore. So now we'll throw these spike strips out to keep them from running and hurting or killing another innocent civilian. So the car was there, but then we didn't know what house he was in, so we sat on the car, and within about 45 minutes, here he comes out of a house, jumps into the car. Our cars move up, try to arrest him. He takes off. At the end of the block, detectives spike strip him. All 4 tires go flat. He jumps out of the car, got the pistol in his hand, and he jumps out of the car. All 4 tires are flat, takes off running, hits the pistol. Our guys chase him, and within about a half a block, they arrest him, bring him back. Long story short, get him to the station. He confesses to every one of them. And he wasn't only doing crimes in the 9th, he was doing them in the 7th, he was doing them in the 3rd. We're looking at him for some in the 1st and the 2nd. He was pretty talkative last night when we got him into custody. Heroin addict, and as he went on talking and talking, he began talking about the countless other purse snatchings he's done in the Central West End over the past few months. It wasn't even on our radar for those things. So we have 8 crimes that we have warrants issued on this afternoon. We have a total of 8 robbery, felony robbery first cases issued, 8 armed criminal action cases issued. And I know the detectives who were still over there when I came over here were talking to the circuit attorney about holding him without bond. So I guess a good end to a nasty series of events in the Central West End. Yes.
Does somebody else somebody like that pretty much always work by himself?
He had a lady with him at the time. They interviewed her in depth just to see if she could provide any additional information. She had no additional information to provide. It pretty much ruled out that she had anything to do with him or anything to do with his antics. He was pretty much, flying single-handedly. So, and all the surveillance photos that we got. The one thing we have in the Central West End is that we got some great surveillance cameras all around the neighborhood, and we picked up this car several different times, and every time we picked up the car leaving the scene, there was always one person driving the car. And it's the best picture we got, I think, is the one, Sarah, is that the one you put out to everybody in the alert? That one?
Yeah.
Okay. So we put that one out, and then just an idea of why we knew it was just the one guy.
Yeah, the jeans, please.
Oh, yeah, another question was the jeans store down on Maryland, west of Euclid down there. For those of you who don't know, about 3 weeks ago, it was broken into on a late night, early morning burglary. Where they busted the front window open, actually back of the truck right through the window. One thing Ted Koppler did down there, because this is the 3rd time that they hit that particular place, they sell, very high-end jeans clothing there. Jeans there can go anywhere from $300–400 a pair. My whole wardrobe doesn't cost that. I don't know who would buy $300 jeans, but apparently there's a pretty good market for it with the youngsters out there. But, you know, 2 prior times they had had burglaries there, the same type of throwing bricks and rocks through the front door, going in, grabbing arms full of them. One thing Ted Cowper did is he put up this, you know, this almost bulletproof type glass where you almost can't knock it out with a sledgehammer, rock, or whatever. So they drove a truck through. That seemed they just took out the whole frame and everything around it. And that was 3 times there, and it's a little frustrating on our end because we don't have any leads on that thing yet. But in this case, the one thing that we do have is the thief cut his hand. So we have blood. We're waiting for a DNA analysis. That sometimes can take, you know, 8 to 12 weeks to get DNA back. We put a rush on it through our lab, so still haven't heard anything on that. That's the one thread of evidence that we do have that we're hoping pulls actually all 3 of these cases together for us. Yes, sir.
I was just wondering about the robbery at Mary Jane's, which is right next to Left Bank Books.
Mary Jane?
The women's store where I guess they came in and went into the dressing room areas and then walked out with a bunch of stuff. Also shattered the glass windows to get in, and this was probably 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, and the guy that we have for these is probably, I'm pretty certain it's not that guy. I don't know if it's related to the guy that did the jeans place or not. I don't know. That one is still under investigation as far as I know. Do you know anything that I know? For those of you who don't know, this is Paul Hankhouse. He's one of our detectives in the 9th District, and he's also one of the main guys with the city's finest. So he's here to fall back on in case you have questions. I don't know. I can lean on him.
This might be a dumb question, but are any of these people involved in the kind of crime that he just described?
I'm sorry.
Any of the people involved in these kind of crimes like he just described in Mary Jane?
Females.
Women breaking windows or however you want
Anybody's guess. I don't know. We have nothing to indicate that.
That's a reason for us.
Is there any connection with the Jane's store here and the one in the Loop? With the same, being the same person? And
Yeah.
how many, not miles, but area, would you have any amount, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, that you would have covered in an area for crime? In other words, from Kings Highway to Sarah, but how many officers would you have, and maybe from Linville to Manchester, something like that?
Well, in Central West End, there are, certainly you've got to understand, Central West End is a pretty large neighborhood compared to neighborhoods citywide. We have 2 cars that patrol the Central West End here in the 9th District. Most neighborhoods only have 1. Some neighborhoods are so small that the car shares 2 of them. But here in the Central West End, we do have 2 beats that encompass the Central West End neighborhood here. But what you guys have in addition to those 2 cars with your special taxing districts, you have the city's finest, you got Securitas,
A1.
A1, and you've got supplemental patrols out here almost 24/7. So in addition to the 2 that are being paid by the city, your SID sometimes provides an extra 4 to 5 at a time, at any given time.
Per special business district.
Per district, yeah. So you guys, I've said it before, you guys have more police coverage in Central West End than any other neighborhood in the city of St. Louis. Nobody's even close. And you guys do that yourselves through your taxing districts. Yes, sir.
Another question.